Training only takes about 40 minutes, so
Yeah, we have.
we're doing good. Whoa, they shortened this cord too.
Limbo.
I can do some limbo. No way, not that one. Okay, so maybe I should stand on this side since you guys are all on that side. You ready?
Yep.
Okay, so simplified order entry. I'm calling it phase 3 because it's my third training. But obviously you guys have been going through a lot of changes. Today's agenda is to kind of go over previous launches, get some feedback. We moved dowels into the hub, similar to canvas frames. Cutting refactor, application rebuild, long time coming. Some other additional features. I said coming soon. Funny thing is we actually launched those coming soon things because they fit in. So you'll hear about those. And then a quick update at the end from Crystal. Please note that the launch is live as of right now, okay? So, some feedback from previous launches. Proof types. We've launched a couple different proof types. Prototype and hard proof unknown quantity. The main thing that we're having some issues with is on the unknown quantity. Which is an example of that would be, I'm running a quantity of 4, because I need a couple proofs for myself, a couple for the clients. I don't really know how many I'm going to be doing, so I'll just reorder it later when I know more about it. In that scenario, that's when you should be using the unknown quantity proof type. And we'll just do a quick demo here. Sweet, it's working. So, this is just standard board product. In the help tip, you're going to hear me use that word a lot today, help tip. Everything that I'm talking about right now is right in the help tip in case you have any concerns or questions about that. But this is a standard board product. You're going to put in your typical, everything is the same. You're going to do your quantity of 3 because that's how many you want for your proof here. But instead of doing your soft proof or your hard proof, you're going to select unknown quantity. Everything else is the same. It's going to require you to give an estimated total quantity for like when you do the full production run, but it doesn't need to be perfect. We're not after the difference between 60 and 65. We're after the difference of 60 and 600 because those are the type of choices that are going to direct production in different ways for your hard proof. So doing this is a huge win for production. One small change for you guys, so just as a reminder, please take advantage of that. There should never be a ticket going in that is for a quantity of 4, knowing you're going to produce more and you're not using this proof type. Okay? But otherwise, how are the new proof types going? Prototype, unknown quantity really are the new ones. Any feedback there? Okay, so the feedback so far from other PMs in our previous trainings has also been positive. There has not been a lot of feedback. There was some questions about the difference between a prototype and a hard proof. Remember, the prototype allows you to get application done on your hard proof, as well as production side of it. Production's only feedback is what I've already gone over. So that seems to be going well. Color work, I got some feedback from Alan that I just want to do some simple reminders with you on is, you know when you're creating, you have to create a color job on the back end in Collaborate. It's a rare scenario where you need to keep it all under the same order. He just wants everybody to remember that when you're filling out this information on the back end, that you need to pay close attention to this box here where you're adding your ship date, and you're answering the questions that you basically, through your choices, need answers, right? So if one of your questions was, which color are you matching to? And it's not something that's a provided answer, you need to actually type something in. This is where you're gonna type it in. All right, so if you have any questions on what this is, review that SOP, but don't forget to fill this information out, okay? I can never see my mouse, there it is. 2 swatches, 1 ticket. Really, it's even more than 2 swatches. The point is that right now we're consistently getting people entering a different ticket for each swatch color. And really, you can put multiple swatches onto one color ticket. As long as that material is the same, combine them into one. Your ship date on color work tickets is the date the color work is due, not the date that the whole job is going to ship or kit. Besides that, how is color work going in the hub? Any questions or feedback there?
Much easier than working on face.
And that's been the feedback that we've been getting in the other trainings. There's not a lot of feedback on the PM side. And of course, as far as the production side is going well, this is their only feedback. Tile, estimating portion is still in testing. We're working on getting that live so that you guys can use it for estimating purposes. But there is no feedback from production. So is there any questions or feedback on tile work? That seems to be going well for everybody. And then heat bending, and I'll bring up this reminder a little later as we talk about fab tasks phase 2. But if you're doing more than just bending over at fab, for example, you're printing a job and then it's bending, and then they're going to glue it to something or add things to it, that's when you would do a fab estimate request, okay? So if it's just bending and then coming back over here, that's where the hub takes over. But if it's going to print and then go over to fab and do multiple things, that's when the heat bending and everything included for fab goes into an estimate request, and heat bending stays off of the collateral ticket. Because really, we're just duplicating efforts at that point, right? And heat bending shows up on the collateral ticket and on the ticket over there, and you have double up, right? So anytime you're doing a bulk of stuff at fab, make sure that's all in your estimate request. Outside of that, how is heat bending going in the hub? Good? Pretty self-explanatory, I hope. Take advantage of the help tips if you have questions when you get to that type of thing. And then we'll go over some more of that in a little bit. So, dowels. Dowels is new to the hub as of now, because it's live. And it's very similar to what we've done with canvas frames. So if you do a canvas frame, you don't have to reach out to PDEV and have them build anything. It automatically is being built just because you selected it in the hub. Similar with dowels. We did note the recommended minimum pocket size in the choices. You'll see that when the choices pop up in here. When you select these and the drop down shows up, it'll say recommended is like a minimum 1.5 inch pull pocket. This is just some tips for you as you're going along. We'll have wood, we'll have metal in there, the conduit. So all those options are available. There is a requirement to state how many per quantity. So if you are doing 200 banners and you need 2 dowels for each banner, how many per quantity? 2. It'll automatically state then going forward that 400 are needed because it's doing the math, all right? And then take advantage of the help tip. Right in the help tip, we even have a link to the pull pocket calculator, which I'll show you in a moment, but that will take you right to the pull pocket calculator where you can figure out your flat size. All right, so take advantage of the help tip. Everything that I'm saying today is buried in the help tips, probably even things that I'm forgetting to say. So if you ever have questions like, what was Ben talking about in that training? Start there. Start with the help tip, click that button, that question mark, If it's not there, you still have confusion, talk to your PMRL, and then it can be escalated from there. We also included dowel hanging methods. So you need eyelets or holes or whatever in the end of your dowel for hanging. Again, you need to specify how many you need per quantity. So if you have 2 dowels, but you only need the top dowel to have eyelets on it, then the answer is 2 per quantity again, right? So any questions about dowels? When you order it, it's automatically going to place that with PDEV. So there's a couple rules that are implied that we'll go over. Longer and heavier banners, typically they may need additional features, like they like to take 2 and connect them, and then there's a connector that is needed that increases your pole pocket size, or you got to use metal because it's a longer banner, whatever the case may be. If you're confused at all on what you need or don't need, and you have questions, we're asking you to do what we're doing right now, which is reach out to PDEV and ask the specialist on what is needed. Okay? And you can do that with prototypes@thebernardgroup.com. So reach out to them, ask the questions, get your answers prior to your PDF being approved. Once that PDF is approved, they're going to start making your dowels. So get a head start on that when you have questions. And then utilize purchasing and estimating. When you're doing more than 200 dowels, the system's going to alert you that you have crossed the threshold for PDEV. That's just too many for them to cut and take care of. In those instances, we want you to go through purchasing and just special order all those dowels in automatically. So if you're doing 110 banners, 2 dowels per banner, if you're at 220, you've crossed the threshold. It'll let you know, it won't let you proceed with the dowels. And then you won't get an accurate estimate for your dowels either, so take advantage of estimating if you want an accurate estimate. So you'll no longer need to do a PDEV estimate request when doing dowels. If you select it in the hub, there's no estimate request needed. Okay? That should be a win there. Any questions about dowels? Pretty simple, self-explanatory. Take advantage of the help tip. We revised the pole pocket calculator for configuring your flat size. So when you click on that link, this is what the calculator looks like now. It's way more user-friendly. You'll know where to put your information. Self-explanatory. If in the drop-down, I've listed out the standard dowel thicknesses, but if for some reason you have a random dowel thickness, like 1 3/4 inch, you can just type it in, and then it'll get you your flat size. And then we've added banner hemming and keter and canvas wraps. Basically anything that needs a flat size calculated, I've added it in here so that you can jump in there and get that information out. Please note that the keter one is under construction. I've even noted that in there because we're working with production. I don't know how many of you have done SEGs around here. It kind of can be a little sloppy where you're doing a lot of hard proofs, trying to get it right. And we're working with production on kind of tightening that up. So in there, we're going to list out different materials. And based on the materials selecting, you get a different flat size because we really should know by now what keter sewn to this fabric versus this fabric, what our flat sizes should be. Right? So be patient there. We're working with Laura on getting that information in there and getting that straightened out. So that's coming soon. That's dowels. After dowels, we did a refactor on cutting. So this is what cutting looks like before today. And as of today, we have introduced many new choices in there. So way more defined information coming from the PM. All right? So whether it's going to saw, cut, CNC, laser, all that you can define instead of just saying this is going to cut a fab. And now you can say how it's supposed to cut a fab, right? Now, not all of these choices are in all of the products because you can't Fatova cut a board, for example. So we're just going to provide what is possible per product. And as you can see, we've also incorporated the perforation, creasing, score, and kiss cutting front and back of your choices. Now you're taking it out. This is taking that information out of your notes. All right. There's great value to having it in choices, such as in a month, 6 months in a year, we can pull data. How many times are we perfing throughout the year? And now you shouldn't have to remember to put it in your notes and put it in there correctly. Less jobs going on hold, hopefully.
For the kiss cuts, I have like labels that are on sheets and there's like 5 labels per sheet.
Okay.
So it gets kiss cut and then cut into sheets. How do I explain that?
Yeah, so that to me, which is common, is
Okay.
you're gonna be doing a kiss cut and a zun cut.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's gonna kiss it and cut it,
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay, perfect.
which is really standard with
That's
kiss
awesome.
cutting.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Perfect.
So a couple things to note. Help tip. You don't know the difference between a score and a crease? Take advantage of the help tip. It's not only gonna explain it, it'll have a picture in there, kind of showing you it is what a crease is gonna do on your material versus a score. And then, of course, you can reach out if you have additional questions. Few of the nuances with the new Zund refactor, or the new cutting refactor. All estimating, as it was last week and will be this week, is Zund based. So it's assuming your job is gonna cut on the Zund. All right? So if you select guillotine or saw cut or any,